Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from the team here from Off the Blockchain with DappRadar. Welcome, everyone. We have Ian Kane over in Lithuania, and we have Robert Hugendorn over in Turkey. Gentlemen, how are you both doing?
Pretty good this week. Nice weather in Lithuania for a change. Feeling good about the space. Excited about the chat.
Very cool. Robert, how are you doing?
Yeah, doing fine, man. It's a exciting week. Lots of stuff happened. It's eventful, so we have lots of stuff to talk about.
Cool. Right, we've got a few bits of opening news here. I just want to quickly touch on. Solana is now on OpenSea. It joins Ethereum, Clayton, and Polygon as the fourth blockchain hosted on the secondary market. Users can expect lower gas fees and faster transaction speeds. So we've been told. The Sunflower Land open beta started yesterday. It continues its long comeback from the doldrums earlier this year, which were a sad time for the whole platform. There are 100,000 places open on the beta, and apparently there are updates, upgrades, and big changes brought to the game. And then our final piece of news is the Sandbox land sale that's going on at the moment. There are 60 lands, 100 premium estates, and 3 big estates that are on sale. And that takes us quite nicely, Ian, onto a piece of news that you've been looking at recently, which is to do with land in the metaverse.
Yeah.
Ian, over to you.
Yeah, so I was taking a sniff around at the metaverse lands, and as I've called it, the metaverse landslide. Sorry. And just to kind of introduce people to the idea of metaverse land, what we're talking about here is land parcels that are basically purchasable inside different virtual worlds. And it's kind of the same idea as buying a plot of land or a property in the real world, except obviously it's in the virtual world. But to give you a better idea of sort of how it looks visually, we've got a little video to show, I think, Charlie, just to get an idea of kind of what we're talking about here for those that are not too sure.
Yeah. So there's a rough idea of what land looks like. Ian, do you want to quickly talk us through, for anyone who doesn't know how land works in the virtual world and on the metaverse, what it is and what people can do with it?
Yeah. So in Sandbox, for example, you're buying a piece of land. That's the first port of call where you buy a plot. So it's allocated, you've got the game map, let's call it, and you're buying into a certain portion of that game map. They come in different sizes. You've got that small up to large estates. In certain virtual worlds, you can purchase plots next to each other and join them together to create a palace and do things like that. So you start with your land, and then in most of these virtual world programs, you've got a builder. So you can jump in and you can start generating buildings, and you can start generating like that giant duck that we saw in the swimming pool there that caught my eye, and things like that. And those items can either be placed inside your own property, or you can take them over to the marketplace if such a thing exists within the virtual world and sell them. So you can make an income there, and you can be a builder inside these worlds fundamentally and build out your own dream house, as it were. So watching that video, people should get the idea that there's a world emerging out there in the virtual world, and it's not just a fictional, 5 people walking around all laughing about it. It's growing in stature, it's growing in popularity, and people are kind of heading in there to project their version of themselves into a new world.
Yeah, I think the idea is that the community makes the space, doesn't it, as opposed to it being made, hence like decentralization. It's everyone makes it kind of together.
Yeah, like a village, isn't it? Like a small village in somewhere, and everybody's working together. You've got your greengrocer, your carpenter, and all these different people, and everybody's kind of combining forces to generate a stable income in some circumstances, and in others just to have fun and kind of be involved, really. But yeah, to get onto the news about it, I mean, let's hit the bad news first. Always good to take it off the table. So overall, land values are down 18% in March. And the sandbox land average price dropped by 35%, actually. And Decentraland land prices have dropped by around 5%.
Yeah.
But it's not, so you can see that as negativity or you can see that as opportunity. So it's not all bad news either. There are certain areas. So land in NFT worlds went up 112%. And World Wide Web land NFTs are up 60%. So while some are sliding, and you could call them the more traditionals, you've got newer projects out there hyping like the others were previously. But like I said, low land prices might be bad for people who bought at the bottom. Sorry, who bought at the top. If you aped in and kind of bought something and you were looking to flip it, this could be a negative trend for you. But for people who want to get into projects, there are big opportunities here. Getting into Decentraland, getting into the sandbox, two of the hottest projects out there. So they represent, in the same way as the real world, I believe, they represent an opportunity to own an asset, an appreciating asset that I think everyone in this call probably thinks that there's a big future over here. Some people are still, very hesitant to think people will live in a virtual world. I, for one, think we already kind of do, so we're just a few steps away. But yeah, there's a big opportunity there. And obviously it matters where you buy your land. Like if you want to have a beach view, it's going to cost you a bit more. And if you want a bigger plot, it's going to cost you a bit more. So yeah, it's a good time to be looking. And also remember that the value of land usually is based in Ethereum or another cryptocurrency. So when the value of that token is sliding, the land value also decreases as well. So there's various opportunities to kind of get
Yeah, but there's a difference, isn't there, between dollar value and Ethereum value, and it depends if it drops in Ethereum as well as in dollar value. Is if they've gone down or not, because some can go down in Ethereum, but Ethereum can get more expensive. Therefore, it can be more expensive in sort of dollars. Robert, I'll let you jump in here. Why do you think that there's a difference between why have NFT world's gone up so much and why has the sandbox gone down? Obviously, Sandbox, Decentraland, they're two of the biggest players in the game. But why have they gone down while the others have gone up?
No, the Decentraland prices have dropped 5%. That's not that much.
No,
considering the drop in crypto value over the last few
NFTs,
weeks and months. 5% isn't that shocking. Decentraland is I'm not going to call it blue chip, but when it comes to metaverse lands, Decentraland is a big player.
Bluish chip.
The world is live. You can already build using their builder. They actually launched a new desktop client yesterday. So there's a very active development happening, and both from the project side, the foundation behind Decentraland, and the community itself. We had the Decentraland Fashion Week 2 weeks ago, where lots of big brands were presented through NFTs. You had big fashion brands like Dolce & Gabbana in the virtual world, in the metaverse, in the Decentraland. So the Decentraland isn't going anywhere. The sandbox is a little bit of a different story. Like they just had the alpha test, it just closed, so now nobody can go into the world anymore. They still need to launch their full-fledged product. So at the moment, lots of trading that's happening is speculative or a long-term investment for some. So seeing the price flip around in that area a lot isn't that surprising. On top of it, they're still selling land. The Decentraland already sold out. The Sandbox had a land sale yesterday. And there's still some auctions happening on OpenSea right now. So from that perspective, there's still land being added, still land being sold. So seeing the price go up and down during those moments, and it just makes a lot of sense. And price will stabilize when there's an actual product, and that can be visited at any time. And then we will see how prices will be going forward. When it comes to new projects, you mentioned NFT worlds, World Wide Web. Both are live. Both can be used already. Both have a fast development pace where they add new features and communicate with their community. So they have an edge over the Sandbox in the fact that their product is live. Like you can now go into World Wide Web and see what has been launched this week. You can go into NFT worlds and build. So
I know with NFT worlds that they introduced a staking mechanism as well, which obviously added huge amounts of value. But you can build. So the NFT worlds is basically based on those individual worlds that are all linked up together, and people can craft their own little land. But it'd be good to see what you can do in the sandbox world, because I've actually got a video here of what you can do with your land in the sandbox, which I'm quickly going to share with both of you, just to see what you think of it.
In this video, we'll be taking a look at building your very own home in the metaverse. Building experiences at the sandbox isn't all about quests and battle. You may not be in the business of fighting off the undead or traveling to distant planets, and you know what? That's perfectly fine. It's also about creating a place you can call your own. Perhaps you just want a place to hang out, to decorate, to remodel and display your prized possessions. You can even use the image display component to put your favorite NFTs up on the wall. You can create a space to express yourself, build a swimming pool, make it feel like somewhere you'd like to spend some time, add some houseplants, make room to dance on the roof, or create a forest in your living room. The possibilities are endless. Whatever you choose to do is, well, exactly that, your choice. Creating a building in the metaverse opens up so many...
All right, I think I'm going to stop it there when I see someone having a zebra in their front room. So for anyone who can't afford a house, for anyone who can't afford a house in the LA Hills, yeah, get into the sandbox and you can get one for slightly cheaper there. So yeah, that's upcoming soon, isn't it, Robert? What you can do in the sandbox. And
yeah, like somewhere this year they will probably open up the game further and allow the games to go live. Like right now, you can already build, you can design, assets, sell them on the marketplace. So that part of the economy exists. I think it's important to keep in mind, like the Decentraland, the Sandbox, they are Somnium Space, Crypto Voxels. They are considered like the premier virtual worlds. NFT worlds and World Wide Web. They're knocking on the door. There are various other projects. If you search on the internet right now, you will find different projects on different blockchains with different mechanics behind it. Some of them are more game related, others are more, let's call it, sandbox and open world. You can build whatever you want. You can make a game, or you can create a art gallery or a house, whatever. Ultimately, like lots of those pricings right now are very speculative. Maybe now we're all buying sand right now, we're all buying land in the sandbox. But if in the future, a year from now, the sandbox is not the most popular location in the metaverse, then yeah, you might pay too much. Like it's the same. Like, where you're going to buy your house? Like, are you going to buy your house in New York, or are you going to buy it in the countryside? Depends on your intentions. Like if you're aiming to get lots of traffic, you want and get lots of visitors. Now you might argue that you need to buy it in New York. So what is going to be the New York of the metaverse? Is it going to be the sandbox? Is it going to be the Decentraland? Is it going to be something else we're not talking about right now? There's a virtual world project called Metaverse, and it's kind of new, and it's pumping in value. It's seeing lots of trading activity, lots of sales.
Yeah,
and maybe that will become big. TCG World on Binance Smart Chain just went live with their alpha this week. Maybe that will become a big one. But we're so much in the early days that you can't say what is going to be the hotspot in the metaverse. And of course, there can be multiple hotspots.
Yeah.
And within those hotspots, so you will have the sandbox, and then within the sandbox or within the Decentraland, there are also hotspots. So what's the hotspot in the hotspot?
Yeah, it's a good point. But one thing we definitely do know is that there's massive trades going on all the time, which have actually contributed to the 12 billion of trades in NFTs that we've seen in Q1, which leads us on quite nicely to our DappRadar Q1 report, which I think, again, Robert, you're going to go into. So yeah, as I say, Metaverse and NFT worlds contributing to $12 billion in NFT trades, which we've seen over the first 3 months of the year. Yeah, Robert, as I say, take us on to a few more facts and figures and talking points from the report that DappRadar put out last week, or during the previous week.
Now, comparing this past quarter with the last quarter of 2021, number of active users on the blockchain hardly changed. Like a small drop, few percent. We now had 2.38 million wallets connecting to a dApp. So a dApp can be a Metaverse world, a trading platform. It can be people buying NFTs. It can be anything. It's just unique wallets active and interacting with smart contracts.
Quickly, for anyone who doesn't know, and I'm sure you do if you're listening to this podcast, but dApp is decentralized apps, and that's the main important thing here is the decentralized nature of it.
Yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
It's stuff happening on the blockchain.
Go on, Ian.
Just to outline, because you did that one really well, the unique active wallet metric, that is referring to a blockchain wallet connecting to a dApp. So one person can have multiple wallets. Usually they don't do that, but it's not a user as per se, it's a wallet.
It's useful to see roughly what's happening.
Yeah, there is a nuance there. For someone looking at my own usage, like we talk about 2.3 million. If you have one wallet on Ethereum, you probably use the same wallet on BSC and Polygon as well. So that all counts as one. But you also have maybe a wallet on Wax or on Hive to play Splinterlands. So that already counts for 3 wallets, just for me personally. So in terms of unique active users, we don't have 2.3 million. We probably have 1 million.
Yeah.
So that's it about active wallets and users. So let's say 1 million users, 2.38 million active wallets. Slight decrease, nothing too big. What's more interesting is, of course, like how are they using those dApps? Like what's hot and trending? Like you said, NFTs generated 12 billion in sales, which is remarkable considering the entire year of 2021 had, I think, 21 billion, if I'm correct, or 25.
So in 3 months,
something like that.
Half already.
Yes. So I think it was 25 billion.
Yeah.
So we pretty much generated half of that trading activity over a year in just 3 months. What is hot and popping? Like if you now look at the DappRadar rankings, you will see that NFT projects, of course, Bored Apes and CryptoPunks always do well, but you see like Clonex has seen a big increase in trading. Azuki should not be forgotten. Controversially, stuff like V1 Punks has seen an interesting uptick. So there's this new wave of projects popping up that aim to become the new blue chip, that aim to become the headlines in the NFT space.
The new Bored Ape.
The new Bored Ape, and we covered it before. Like with Metaverse, you have NFT worlds that has been performing outstandingly in the past 3 months. And even if you look at different blockchains, there's interesting stuff happening. I mean, we often talk about Ethereum, right? Like Azuki, Bored Apes, CryptoPunks, it's all on Ethereum. But if you look at the wider spectrum of blockchains, like on the Flow blockchain, BlockToBay is an NFT marketplace that has seen its volume increase 300% in the past month. 300%. That's remarkable. At the same time, NFT trading on Avalanche is booming. Solana, the numbers are up as well in the last month. So it just shows that there's diversification happening. It's no longer only Ethereum.
Yeah, I was actually writing about this the other day.
Wax as a side project. It's really spreading.
I was just writing about this the other day and just saying how it kind of builds more safety and less fragility into the system, because it means that if Ethereum drops massively for whatever reason, the others won't necessarily drop. Now, at the moment, the way that things go, it's if Bitcoin and Ethereum go down, everything else kind of follows it. But if you have got more safety nets all over the DeFi system and over the whole of the blockchain system, then there's less fragility, be more robust in the future, all those sort of things that is making it go into the next stage of, I don't want to use the word,
maturity.
Consolidates.
But we're also talking about like lower value stuff as well, aren't we? We're not talking about 17 million pound CryptoPunks. We're talking about maybe $100, $200 collectors bits, and also like in games like DappRadar on Avalanche, it's in-game items. So it's like NFTs for the everyman. You know, people have maybe felt like they missed out, and there are opportunities out there to still get involved at a much lower value. So that whole kind of, finally we managed to educate people that it's not all about CryptoPunks and that they are one type of asset and there are many others. So people are starting to pay attention, I think, overall.
Yeah, and I think those NFTs that have some utility are getting a bit more widespread as well, as opposed to just ones that they're expensive for the sake of being expensive.
Yeah.
Robert, were you going to jump in?
Yeah. So to continue on the report. Now you mentioned DeFi before. DeFi now has $214 billion in total value locked. So total value locked is the amount of money that's stored within smart contracts. So imagine it's basically the amount of money stored in the blockchain banks.
Yeah. No, quickly, Robert, I'm just going to jump in there. I did some research last night, and if TVL was a company, it would be 52nd in the world by market cap. And would be.
It's not very impressive, is it?
Well, it'd be in there between L'Oreal and Comcast.
Not bad. It's pretty good.
Not bad when you consider that Bitcoin's first came out in 2009. So it's a 13-year-old company that's the 52nd biggest in the world, which last year was probably a lot lower down than that. So it will go up and up the rankings with each sort of month that goes on, I think. So it's a huge, significant space, basically.
Hold on, you said Bitcoin. Do you mean? Are you talking about the market cap of crypto or about TVL?
I'm talking about the market cap of just TVL. If TVL was a company, it'd be 52nd in the world.
Yeah. I mean that's super interesting, and it just shows. I mean, I remember we started talking about DeFi like 1.5-2 years ago, and it was I think it was like. It reached $1 billion, and everybody was like, "Whoa, $1 billion in DeFi! This is awesome!" Now, like 2 years later, we have 240 billion, and it's it's a drop from last year, from last quarter, 8%. It's quite significant, but it's also like a drop that coincides with token price drops.
Yeah, it's dollar value.
Yeah, it's a price in dollar, a drop in dollar value. So, like the activity happening in DeFi is very, very solid. Like there's lots of development happening, interesting competition happening as well. You know, like we mentioned in the report. If you didn't read it, read it. We also wrote some articles about it. But the rise of Terra as the number 2 DeFi powered blockchain in the ecosystem is remarkable. Now the competition between Terra's UST stablecoin versus MakerDAO's DAI. That's another super interesting thing. And now, at the same time, we see money no longer being stored only on Ethereum. Like Ethereum still has the lion's share, but like the portion that's going to other blockchains is becoming bigger. Like I mentioned Terra, but don't forget about BSC, Polygon, Avalanche, Solana. They're all getting their share of the TVL, and that's super interesting. And that bridging technology becomes more important. There's lots of stuff that needs to happen there. So one of the things that, of course, happened in the past quarter were some hacks. Like we've seen the wormhole being hacked. Their Solana bridge. I think they lost $300 million from that hack. And of course, 2 weeks ago. Is it 2 weeks ago already? Yeah, 2 weeks ago. Ronin got hacked. The Ronin bridge, the Axie Infinity Ronin bridge, for $600 million, making it the biggest crypto hack ever. By the way.
Yeah, what a lovely record to hold.
Yeah, indeed. So DeFi grows, hacks are growing, but through failure we get stronger. Let's hope.
Yeah, I mean they'll learn, won't they? Well, the hackers will keep on learning. Now, Ian, I know that you wanted to dive a bit more into the River Axie, the Axie exploit, bridge exploit. issues they had over there a couple of weeks ago, and you want to come to give us a bit of an update on the story and what's going on at the moment.
Got another cheeky title as well. The bridge over the river Axie, I think, is very fitting.
I think you were very happy with that one, weren't you?
That's what I've spent all week coming up with, mate.
Genius.
There's a bit of an update on this side, basically, that, as Rob said, it's been 2 weeks now. So just to recap what happened, as Charlie said, over 600 million taken, the biggest hack of all time. They stole more than 173,000 Ethereum and 25.5 million in USDC. So a lot of money. And then as a result of that, basically, we expected to see some security updates and some other announcements. So what Ronin's come out and said is that they want to up the number of independent validators, 21, within the next 3 months. Now, the validators are the companies and organizations that secure the network. So in pursuit of further decentralization, they want to spread out. And so far, they've announced Animoca, Nansen, Delphi, StableNode, and Dialectic. They will definitely become independent validators. So,
Ian, sorry to interrupt. What happened is they had 9 validators, didn't they? 9 nodes.
6. Is it 6, Rob?
No, they had 9 nodes.
Sorry, yeah.
5 of them or 4 of them were in the hands of Sky Mavis themselves. So
so they want to up it from 9 to 21. So now they've gone from 9. They're up to. They've added another 5 here. So they've got some more to add by the end of the year. And they're also asking community members to also participate in this process. They can become node validators too. There's a process there. Obviously, you've got to be approved. It's not any old Tom, Dick, and Harry.
You need 50,000 RON for it.
Right. Okay.
So the RON is like, what is it right now? $2. So let's say you need $100,000.
So 100 grand to be part of it. So it's not insignificant amount of money. So it's not going to be, as you say, any Tom, Dick, or Harry that's going to be doing it.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was sort of number one. So that's just to tighten up overall decentralization and to tighten up security in that regard. Then the Ronin wallet, which is used by users to facilitate these trades, they've added private key and ledger support to the Ronin wallet. Not such a huge update there, but just kind of moving in the right direction towards further security. And then what happened was, because everybody was really wanted to know how they were going to pay back all this money to the people who have lost it. So 600 million quid gone missing. And they said, when was it? 6th of April, so a couple of days ago now, they revealed that they'd raised 150 million USD in funding led by Binance, with participation from Animoca again, Andrew, A16Z, Dialectic, and Paradigm and Excel. So the round will be used to reimburse user funds affected by this wallet, this bridge hack, basically. So it's a bit of a strange move, I thought, from the offset, raising money to pay back an issue, and also selling another chunk of the Sky Mavis empire, as it were. So yeah, I don't know how I really feel about this. I think we spoke about this last week, and that we said that they had deep pockets and they would look to reimburse from their own wealth. But no, something else is happening here. And what do you guys think about this? I think it's pretty weird.
Like if you look at the 600 million was stolen, 150 million they've now raised. So still, like, Sky Mavis will probably take care of the remaining 75%. And it's like the wormhole hack, the Solana wormhole hack from a few months ago. They did the same. Like first they said, "Oh, we will pay everybody back," and then like I think a month later they were like, "Oh, we have a new funding round." No, so
it needs to come from somewhere, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, even though the companies have big pockets, apparently, like a hack like of this magnitude, can't be dealt with that money they have in their pockets. And I'm not a business person, so I don't know the thought process behind it. But it's not something out of the ordinary, apparently. And it also shows that the more these hacks happen, the more these bridge hacks happen, like apparently, like Sky Mavis can't afford to have this happen 2 or 3 times more, because then they'll become more troublesome.
Yeah.
Has there been any news on if they can catch the person who did it?
I don't know.
I haven't read anything.
I don't think so.
I haven't seen anything.
I saw that $7 million of the money that was stolen. Obviously, it's 600 million odd that went, but $7 million of it has gone to a wallet where you can sort of like wash the funds, and when it then churned down to wallets. So you put it through an intermediary, then it comes out and it's kind of washed, basically.
It's Tornado, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was Tornado.
Mm.
So that's, if there's people who are clever enough to follow money around, there's also people who are clever enough to find ways to hide it, aren't there? Because there's a lot of clever people in the space who will do stuff for money. And Tornado, they say that they're doing stuff to stop, governments and authorities controlling your money. It can also be used by people who don't always have the best intentions.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's worth mentioning as well that amidst all this darkness for Axie and Sky Mavis right now, they still did launch their most anticipated product, which has been Axie Infinity Origin. So we saw the numbers dip off for them immediately after the hack, obviously. But the show must go on. And from the numbers that we're seeing, they're on the way back to where they were, to be perfectly honest. And they've just carried on marching forward. So I think it's a good sign for them. They're a robust company. They're trying to deal with what's right in front of them. So I think it's important to mention that as well. And they keep going. So
and Origin is fun, by the way. I played it a bit.
How does it work?
It's Axie, but it looks prettier. There's some new mechanics. It's I'm still in adventure mode. I need to go through adventure mode a couple of levels to unlock the PvP part. But yeah, it's really, it looks pretty. There's a story there. There's a nice way of introducing the new elements. Every level you unlock a new feature that gets explained to you. It's really nice.
What do you earn to play?
Right now, nothing.
Okay.
And it's not enabled yet.
But the P2E element will soon be coming in, I imagine.
Yeah. I guess right now this is only for desktop users, so it's not even fully open.
But
the mobile version will come soonish.
Yeah.
They mentioned what were the two new stats that impact earnings? Stamina and Spirit, I think, was it? Ronin.
Yeah, like Ronin Spirit. So Ronin Spirit basically requires you to. Okay, hold on. So before you had to have Axies. You needed to have NFTs to play the game.
Yeah.
Now with the new version, you can play the game without owning NFTs. But if you have NFTs, you gain Ronin Spirit. For each NFT, you get one Ronin Spirit. There's a maximum of 3. So if you have 3 characters, you basically have a full team, which means you have optimized your earning abilities. On top of that, you get stamina, and stamina determines how many games you can play until you need to wait a bit. And the amount of stamina you have gets determined by the amount of Axies in your wallet. So if you have 100,000 Axies in your wallet, you can play for a longer time than when you have 3 Axies in your wallet.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, luckily they didn't steal those in the bridge exploit, because I've still got my 4 Axies that I had from ages ago.
It's interesting. The price of Axies now has dropped significantly over the past months. They used to be $100, and I think recently they were $13, $14.
Yeah.
So they dropped a lot because demand was low. Right now, because of the new Spirit system, the price of Axies is going up. So we've seen over the past few days, we've seen a 90% increase in the Axie floor price. So talking about opportunities, if you could have bought a whole bunch of floor price Axies to sell them with a profit right now, if you wanted to.
Although you do have to question the person who was flooding into the Axie market after they've just been robbed of $600 million.
That's faith and belief.
Exactly. Right. I guess we could wrap it up there then, guys. Just before we go, though, I just want to let everyone know that there's the second DappRadar community proposal coming up, which will give Radar token holders the opportunity to vote on the future of the world's Dapp store, which is DappRadar. The proposal introduces single token staking on 3 different blockchain platforms and an extension of the existing liquidity rewards on the Ethereum blockchain. Robert, do you want to give us a bit more about that before we move on to the
Okay,
next.
so the Radar token is the foundation of what DappRadar will become. It will be basically the Apple App Store, but for blockchain applications. And to establish that, we need to have a lot more data, a lot more help, and people participating. So that's where the Radar token comes in as a reward structure. And on top of that, we need to expand to different blockchains. So right now, Radar exists only on Ethereum. We're going to expand to Binance Smart Chain and Polygon if the vote gets approved. And on top of that, we're going to introduce new mechanics, the new DeFi mechanics to reduce liquidity on the market. So we're going to introduce single token staking on each of the blockchains, on Ethereum, on Binance Smart Chain, on BNB chain, I have to say, and on Polygon. And those are the things that are being proposed. And everybody who had Radar tokens in their wallet, they get to vote. Voting happens without paying gas fees. You just go to vote.dappradar.com, and yes, that's the URL. So you go there, you connect your Web3 wallet, either Wallet Connect or MetaMask, and you vote for or against. And then on April 13th, the vote will end, and we will see what the decision has been from the community. Now, if you're listening to this and you're like, I don't understand this, and maybe you go to vote.dappradar.com, read the proposal, and you still have questions, join us for the community call. So next Tuesday, that's Tuesday, April 12th, at 3 p.m. UTC. So that's European time, 5 p.m. In the Americas early morning, and in Australia it will be late at night. Yeah, middle of the night. But join us. You can ask all your questions. We will have the DappRadar big shots to help you out. Head of product Nick Rennie, our chief design officer Dragos Dunica, and CEO Scrimitas Yunuskas to help you out, answer all your questions, and present what we're going to do in the months to come. And it's also quite interesting. It's not only this community call is not only about the vote. It's also about our roadmap as a company. So it's also about the mobile app that's coming. It's also about different product updates for pro users. All that kind of stuff. Like I mentioned, like a reward system for Radar, we will call it Contribute to Earn. That will also be presented. So there's lots of stuff happening, and it's a type of conference call we will do on a monthly basis going forward, so we can keep the community in the loop about everything cool. Radar and DappRadar.
Cool. Thank you very much. Right. Well, I guess we can say goodbye there then. So it's Ian, goodbye from you.
Goodbye for now. See you guys next week.
Robert.
Already.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye, everyone. See you later.